In fact, a follow-up segment tonight, as we've been reporting, 40 states have Jessica's Law or some semblance of it. That is, tough mandatory prison sentences for child rapists. The 8 states that don't have Jessica's Law are Idaho, Illinois, Wyoming, Colorado, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Hawaii, and Vermont. North Carolina and Mexico, they're in gray, continue to debate the issue. Now, over the weekend, there was a governor's conference in Philadelphia where we sought out Vermont governor because that state is the worst in protecting the kids. As you may know, 12-year-old Brooke Bennett was buried last week in Vermont after being raped and murdered there. For years, we've been suggesting that Vermont Governor Jim Douglas do something about this terrible situation. Jesse Waters confronted him on Saturday.
Hey, Governor. Jesse Waters with the O'Reilly Factor at Fox News. How are you?
Good, good.
Quick question for you. Vermont seems to be out of control right now. You guys just buried 12-year-old Brooke Bennett. How do you explain that to the American people?
We're not out of control at all. We're going to do everything we can to make sure we put in place some laws that deal harshly with people who commit crimes like that. I need a willing partner in the legislature, and frankly, I haven't had that.
But how many dead girls are we going to tolerate here? I mean, over and over again, it's another story after another story out of Vermont.
One dead girl is one too many. I attended the funeral of Brooke Bennett last week and met with her family, her friends, with people in the community. It's a devastating impact, and we need to be sure that we do something about it. As the pastor said at the funeral, Brooke's life will have meaning if we take action, and I plan to do that.
Do you realize how much damage this is causing the state of Vermont?
Well, I don't know what you mean.
I mean, how much damage in terms of international and national reputation? I mean, Vermont's really getting a bad name after all these cases, case after case after case.
Well, things are going quite well for us economically.
Well, obviously, Governor Douglas is blaming the legislature, but you, sir, must lead. Your voice has not been loud enough. I think he's a good man, but I don't think he's a strong man. Across the border in Massachusetts, there is a different situation. Power brokers in that state don't seem to want Jessica's Law. Factor producer Dan Bank caught up with Governor Deval Patrick.
Governor Patrick, Dan Bank with the O'Reilly Factor at Fox News. How are you?
I'm enjoying my coffee.
I'm wondering when your state is going to pass Jessica's Law. 42 other states have it. I'm wondering when your state will.
Well, the legislature's in session for 2.5 more weeks. I hope they'll get it done. I think they're planning to get it done before they go out.
Will you sign Jessica's Law if it gets sent to your desk?
We'll see what shape it comes to me in.
Well, do you support a 25-year mandatory minimum for child rapists?
We'll see what shape it comes to me in.
A little arrogant there, wouldn't you say? Translation, Governor Patrick could not care less. The same may hold true for Governor John Corzine of New Jersey.
Hey, Governor. Jesse Waters with the O'Reilly Factor at Fox News. How are you?
How you doing?
Hey, we just wanted to know if you supported Jessica's Law, 25-year mandatory minimum sentence for child rapists.
Well, we have one of the toughest laws in New Jersey, and we're the ones that started this movement, and I support those laws.
You guys have 25-year mandatory minimum for child rapists?
You know, we have what Megan's Law, which actually started this whole movement, so I don't know how it matches up exactly with that, but we have one of the strongest set of laws in the country.
I'm not sure if it's the mandatory minimum, though, sir, with all due respect.
That I can't tell you because I haven't actually, wasn't prepared for the question today, but I know we have the strictest laws in the country.
As usual, we have to explain to Governor Corzine that strict laws don't matter unless they're enforced. That's why you need mandatory sentences. Hey. On another note, we were curious what Kansas Governor Kathleen Sebelius thought of recent criminal charges against Dr. George Tiller, so-called named Tiller the Baby Killer. As the Factor has been reporting, this man will terminate fetuses at any time for $5,000.
Hey, Governor. How are you? It's Jesse Waters with the O'Reilly Factor from Fox News. How are you? Hey, what do you think about Dr. George Tiller?
I don't think anything about Dr. George Tiller.
You know the late-term abortion doctor in your state?
Yes.
You don't have an opinion of him?
He's a health care provider in Kansas.
You know, he was largely not indicted because of a technicality in Kansas law.
There was a grand jury who found no charges to bring against him.
You know, there was a lot of evidence there that he was performing illegal late-term abortions and covering up instances of child rape.
He's a health care provider, according to Governor Sebelius. Well, Tiller himself donated money to her campaign. She doesn't seem to be real upset about this guy operating a death mill, which is exactly what it is, in her state, does she? Plenty more.